In the 26 years of Nigeria's ongoing democratic experience, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have controlled government at the center for a total of 16 years, producing 3 different presidents with a turnover of about 17 national chairmen, suggesting the many internal conflicts they've had to deal with. Now, the ongoing crisis in the umbrella party presents as the most challenging, reducing its public clouds that even all the critical organs of the party have failed to resolve. The former ruling party that later became the leading opposition voice following its defeat in 2015 is presently on the free fall as a former vice president, incumbent governors, national and state lawmakers elected on its platform, and in some cases party leaders are defecting to either the ruling APC or to the emerging coalition stronghold, the ADC. But what were the PDP founding fathers, board of trustees, and other party chieftains looking at while the umbrella was leaking and plundered by scavengers? Just imagine for a moment, why has Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, former presidents, produced on the platform of the PDP, adopted what is like the sit-down look posture? I am a Shomabo Imodu, and this is Fireworks. We put them under check. Welcome back. Now, joining me in this conversation is a former Minister of Information and Culture, former Director General of the Bureau of Mass Mobilization for Social Justice and Economic Recovery, MAMSA. I'm talking about Professor Jerry Gana. Nice to have you here, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on my talk. Now, let's start with the MAMSA, that bureau. Talk to us a bit. As a generation that is not aware of that agency of mobilization.
Thank you very much. I must thank you very much for the opportunity of this interview. And thank you very much for taking me back to MAMSA days. I must salute the wisdom of President Ibrahim Babangida, who during his term felt that to be able to really re-establish democracy, the people's consciousness should be raised. Because the Nigerian economy is too much consumption-oriented. And we were turning the attitude that people should produce. It is when you produce, you create wealth. You create wealth to reduce poverty.
And you effectively did that, interpreting the policy of government in local languages.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, seeing them in my own local language.
I'm so glad. Thank you very much. You still remember. We argued correctly that the mobilizer, if you want to educate and mobilize the people, you have to be very mobile. You have to get right down. And communicate with them in the language they would understand. So as you enter into not just their consciousness, but into their culture.
Laudable project. Unfortunately, the same man that wanted to educate the people with their rights to vote was not able to deliver on democracy.
No, I think we have to be fair to him because he was very open.
He banned and unbanned, but he was not able to deliver. He was the one that gave us June 12th.
No. I think you have to be fair to him. First of all, that he meant well, had a very, very elaborate program of transition to democracy, really located the voter as a key person to transform within that network, and then results were produced. But you see, there was some tension within the leadership core.
He meant well, but the sincerity was not there.
Well, when I say he meant well, I'm not saying because I just known him. I've known him way back. He was my head boy in school.
Okay, let me go back to other issues now. And also, just before this present democratic experience in 1999, when former head of state, Salam Abubakar, was going to hand over, there was this move by AD, the PDP, and trying to take over from a civilian government. What was it like on the eve of forming these political parties and the democratic experience? What was it like, that last-minute experience with the military then?
Yeah. Thank you very much. There's a sense in which I must salute the wisdom of the founding fathers at that time of restoring, because they were very determined in doing 3 key things. They want to terminate military rule, therefore restore democracy. They want to reestablish civilian rule, and they want to really ensure that governance can become very, very transparent and productive. You relate with the people, you deliver results. Now, the founding fathers were also...
The founding fathers is cut across different political parties now.
Yeah. When we formed in the process of forming the parties within that country, you remember, just previous to that were the 5 parties created, and all of them were supposed to adopt 1%.
Exactly.
Now, we said no to that. And it was actually the rising of the group that formed the PDP came from that objection. Because we met. Because Dr. Alex Ekweme of blessed memory challenged us, those of us in the group that was really preparing to take over from the military. He challenged us. I said, look, the person who now wants to be the presidential candidate of all the 5 parties and transform from a military route to president comes from your zone. He's from the northern states. So you, the northern members of this caucus that we are meeting in Lagos, why don't you go back and challenge him at the home base? So we came back to the home of Elijah Adamuchirom of blessed memory in Kaduna. And he received us very well. About 18 of us signed a letter telling General Abacha of blessed memory.
The game is up.
So say, please, you cannot succeed yourself.
I also remember just before that,
so that
talking about not succeeding yourself, just before that time, there was this late Bola Ige also that talked about the 5 fingers of the leprous man.
You remember very well. So, and they were all part. The beautiful thing is that all the political forces, because of what happened to them,
one interest.
They're all in, I think, in Kiri. You remember the Buhari regime of 20 when they took over? They imprisoned most of the political leaders. It was that as created consciousness of fusing political to restore democracy. At that point, they agreed. The issue now is not just to do, as it were, ideological politics, but to say, look, we have the military class versus the democratic civilian class. So we should really, as it were, be together, restore democracy. And then once there is democratic freedom, other things can happen. So all of us were together. You know, it was only when the G34, because that was what we were called. We were all together, the G34, and we were moving very, very nicely. But then the following morning, when we were to go and declare the party, 1 or 2 people who were in the former SDP, and they felt were very, very close to the June 12th problem, appeared, and our friends from the Southwest, Afenifere, reacted. They said, no, they cannot be on the same platform. I don't want to mention the names because they've all gone to glory now. And in our culture, you don't speak evil of the dead. So that's why we had the AD. It's this Afenifere group that went out of us that formed the AD. The rest of us resort to form the People's Democratic Party. And 1 or 2 other people just Shenkafe of blessed memory formed the APP. But the PDP emerged as a broad-based national political party. Now, very powerful.
Let's dwell with the PDP,
very
since
powerful.
you're a chieftain of the PDP.
Yes, and I'm very delighted to be. Very authentic.
Yeah, and you talked about the G18, you talked about
G34,
the G34, and the PDP was formed.
Yeah.
You were privileged to have 2 presidents, 3 presidents back to back. President Obasanjo was
would have been on,
8 years,
but for their foolishness.
And at the point, even the PDP bragged that they were going to rule for 60 years.
And it
was it that at a point in the history of PDP, they now felt that they were in charge of the country and took the people for granted?
No.
And a lot of mismanagement started happening.
No, it wasn't that. Obasanjo did very well, and I salute his wisdom, his courage, because it's not restoring democracy to end military rule wasn't easy. But we were fortunate. He was the former head of state, a general, and then he appointed General Tiwa Danjuma, a former first-class chief of army staff, as the Minister of Defense. The 2 of them showed tremendous courage and restored democracy and civilian authority effectively. We were in capture. Fortunately for us, Nigerians gave us the opportunity. We won the presidency, we won the Senate, we won the House of Representatives. So we were
a clean sweep.
Total control. So things were moving. So Obasanjo did well, and all the institutions of governance right now were created during that period. I don't have the time to really, as it were, enumerate them. And then we moved on to Yaradua. Yaradua, unfortunately, died in office. Jonathan took over. Did very, very well. But Jonathan made a mistake in 2014 because we that are very close to him tell him, look, your election in 2011 was your 2nd term. By the time that it was the time the thing was to swing back to the north,
Did you have that rotation in the party
in 2014? No, it was something that was agreed.
It was a convention.
Very, very, very clearly, because you see, the founding fathers agreed on the strategy of power shift in 1998. Because of what happened to Abiola when he won the dividend. Okay. We said none of us from the northern states should look for the presidency in that time. So we call it the power shift strategy. And it worked. Because all the candidates were from the south, a southern president emerged. So stability was being restored. And then when Obasanjo finished in 2007, he came down to the north. Yar'Adua took over. Unfortunately, he died in office. And Jonathan took off, so he had to go to the south without the 8 years up here. But people now gave Jonathan the vote in 2011 to conclude his second term. But some of our friends, not Jonathan himself, some of our friends from the south, especially from the south, misread that when in 2014...
You wanted him to just do one term?
Yes, 2014, 2015.
Is it workable to do one term?
No, it wasn't one term. Jonathan's presidency was a kind of something that was answering to certain tragic situations. He finished a northern term in between because his boss died in office. Okay. Therefore, it was no longer a normal situation. So when he took over before 2011, so he did, instead of 8 years, he did 6 years. By wisdom demands that in that setting, we should just sacrifice the 2 years to say, look, this is force majeure. It wasn't planned. It was it. So in 2014, 2015, when the consciousness was that the thing was to return to the north, we said, look, wisdom demands that we should just yield to let the northern take it. It should have appointed, it should have kind of...
Then the blackmail started. That was the blackmail that if you're going to run, will make Nigeria ungovernable for you.
So vacancy, no vacancy, that's why we made a mistake. We should have stood firmly.
No, you admitted that your party made a mistake.
Yeah, and that's why we're now, as voice of the founding fathers, I'm now restoring. It is the turn of the South. I've been saying so since 2023.
Okay, before we get to the voice of the founding fathers, let me understand the organs of the party. The founding fathers were not part of the critical organs of the party.
No,
you had the board of trustees.
We're not pretending to be.
So the board of trustees ought to be very active. It used to be called the conscience of the party.
Is it still there?
But the conscience is like the conscience that is not very active these days.
The board of trustees is still available. Okay. The national working committee is the daily kind of governance of the party is in the national working.
You say it's still working?
Oh yeah.
Let me take you to a place where a lot of people will
The founding fathers have stand by because a few of us are still alive. And it is just, as it were, responding to the moral demands of saying, this is the party in the memory of the fathers who sacrificed. We shouldn't allow this party to go. That's how we rose. And now can challenge them to resolve the issues and move on. So we are not an institution. We are not part of this. But we, as being alive, that's why I call myself the voice of the founding fathers, reminded them that this party was created on very timeless principles, very enduring kind of objectives, powerful things. The founding fathers didn't just build the PDP to capture power. They want to build the nation. Therefore, we came in to remind the institutions of the PDP. And thank God, they did. Because the conference, which I called, which I have now, was very well attended.
Now, the founding fathers came in very active this particular administration.
And they responded.
Some few weeks ago.
And I'm very, very grateful to them.
Now, some persons ask that, if this founding father was that very effective and all that, what were they looking at when Governor Fubara was going through that turmoil in River State? What was the founding father doing?
Fathers have to be wise. Fathers have to be patient. Fathers have to not intervene at every point. Because there are dynamics, all sorts of things. Therefore, you watch it, you listen, you study it, and you wisely intervene at the correct. And we did. And when we intervened, everybody listened. And look at now, we're smooth. If we had done so at an earlier stage.
Did you say everybody listen? It's like this intervention was after they spilled blood.
No.
And they've all gone with blood stain. No. You have governors that have left. You have even your former vice president has left.
Only two.
Only two? It's not huge enough.
Oh, come on.
National Assembly members, they've all left now. Now you're just coming out. The founding fathers are coming out. Good enough, the founding father has found his voice. But
we've always had our voice, but fathers should intervene wisely. because all fathers must give room for even prodigal sons to return. When they return to their sons, fathers must be wise, must be patient, must watch. You shouldn't intervene at every point. Otherwise, you lose credibility, you lose authority, you lose your wisdom.
And also the fathers could be embarrassed by the gladiators. Now, have the fathers also identified some trouble spots, individuals in the party?
Yes, and we're working on them privately, but you don't rebuke.
One has gone.
But you don't rebuke.
One has
wait,
left.
Now, you don't rebuke your sons publicly. We are doing so powerfully.
What if your son come out against you publicly? What will you do?
Fathers don't ever rebuke their sons publicly. They do so decisively, firmly, because there are opportunities for sons to come to their senses and come to say, we are sorry. And we're already more or less at that point.
Is that not a weakness?
No.
Because the fathers are speaking for the nation.
Yes, there's a sense in which there are institutions of governance.
But Prof,
the fathers are not part of this.
We'll come back to this. Now, let's go on the break, and when we're back, we'll still be here discussing with Professor Gana, where he will be letting us into more details about the happenings in the People's Democratic Party. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Now, if you're just joining us, we've been speaking with Professor Gana, discussing the happenings in the PDP ahead of the 2027 election. And just recently, he revived the voice of the founding fathers of PDP. Let's see how far they can go. Prof, we're talking about the founding fathers. And I talked about those identified. People have said there are two major problem personalities in the PDP. One has left for the ADC. One is still there. And just, I think a day or two ago, that one also said that the NEC or the convention, there will be a problem if his own candidate in the South is not recognized. How do you intend dealing with when your members give you conditions for peace?
Thank you very much. Let me, before I proceed to answer your question, say that founding fathers must make sure they don't intervene at every point, because there are institutions of governance, whether within party or within government. Founding fathers come in when things are about to really, as it were, collapse. And we intervened at the right time. Thank God people are listening.
Call this the right time?
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Can't you see you're now seeing some stability?
ADC have taken the shine away.
No, where are they?
They formed a coalition?
Wait, where are
you
they?
have former governors, former ministers.
How many? Wait, name one state where the ADC is in control right now. Nowhere. The vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the key person in ADC, comes from Adamawa. That is the PDP government in place. Active, 80% of the people in Adamawa are supporting. That's PDP.
So this is a blow to him.
So what I'm saying is that we don't want to embarrass our dear, because they are still our friends. We don't want to embarrass them. A few people may find it suitable to move. And in a democracy like ours, you should allow people, it's their right to be able to move. It's not a coalition. Because coalitions are between parties when they are, as it were, in a position and want to support one candidate or one party, and then they all come together. It's not a coalition of candidates. So if people now want to form a new party, good luck to them, and they can move there. But we remain in the PDP, and what we are saying, the PDP is real, is vibrant.
Would you attempt to woo back the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to the PDP?
No, it's not necessary. Because the PDP, wait now. The PDP is extremely fair to it, because I salute him as a founding father. In 2023, I was very honest now to say, look, please, I want to see you. And I salute his wisdom. And I thank him for honoring me as one of the founding fathers. He came to my house. He came to my house, and I called Governor Wike. He came. To be fair to him, he came all the way from Port Harcourt. And the three of us had a meeting in my house here in Aso Drive. And we reached a conclusion to say, look, believe me, if I had to tell what the fathers meant, that we should also be nation builders. And this power shift thing is helping us to build a nation. When we took over in 1999, the Southwest was still boiling. But because of the restoration we did during power shift, it has streamed up. Even those who are in the trenches now are now in government, in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If we didn't do it that way, they would have gone. Other people would have gone. But people are now saying, so I told him, please, under Buhari, the APC had 8 years in the north. It is time to allow it to shift to the south. Name anyone in the south which you support. It's much better. But now that you have won the convention, because this meeting was after the convention, you've also chosen your vice president. Please allow this our colleague from the south, let's take it, to go with the party, to give anybody they want to nominate as the party chairman. And believe me, they agreed, but never implemented it. That was
never implemented. They brought another northerner as the party chairman.
No, that was the mistake.
But where will be the justice if two gladiators that people presume to be the problem of the party, you willingly say, okay, the other one can go, we're not going to woo him back, then the other one, you want to woo him. Would there be justice to his own camp?
We were respecting a private choice. Atiku wasn't driven out. He chose to say, look, I'm a wise political leader. I want a platform of my own. And, I mean, we can't prevent him. We can encourage him. He's willing to, if he wants to come back, he can come back.
Will you woo Amechi and woo El-Rufai?
We've done that all the year, but they have decided to say no to us and to go to the APC, and they are very, very welcome. It's a very stable, peaceful political system. They can go there, and we remain in the PDP. And the one or two of the people that are still within the PDP, we don't mind them being in the PDP. The thing that the PDP leaders will not tolerate is to deliberately try to weaken the PDP in order to allow the APC to win.
That is exactly what is going on.
And that will not happen. That will not happen.
How hard will you be, or how hard will the founding fathers be on an individual that want to weaken the party?
You know, a wise father doesn't announce his strategy.
But sometimes to get the confidence of the public, yes, the wise father will say it. Because Nigerians don't so much believe in the PDP any longer.
No, they do. If, as the opposition, we felt that a government came in and was trying to do certain things that we thought, give them a chance. When they came in, this APC government, they had certain kind of policies that we felt sounded correct for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we're giving them 2 years now. Unfortunately, they haven't acted tremendously on the economy. We are disappointed. On security, we are disappointed. On employment, we are disappointed. And because it's 2 years, and they're already announcing the campaigns for 2027, let's now rise. You now listen to us. We are now rising. We'll be articulate. We will tell them, but we've given them a chance to prove themselves.
Have you zoned the presidency in 2027?
Totally to the south.
To the south?
Yes, but there's a zoning committee. They will soon come up.
So which candidate are you looking at?
How do you announce? We'll announce it when we're ready. We are consulting, and we're very, very good candidate, by the way. The south is full of talents.
ADC is looking for Peter Obi from the south.
No,
is PDP also looking for Peter Obi?
Peter Obi is one of us. We are very, very much.
He used to be one of you.
Oh, he's very.
He's in Labour Party.
He's very, very much one of us. Even the acting Labour Party chair lady is one of us. In fact, she was my former student in Labour. They are over. We are wooing them nicely, intelligently, properly, effectively to come back because the PDP is a good platform.
If you are wooing the Peter Obi, you are wooing the caretaker. Factional caretaker chairperson, Nana Usman, I guess the person you're talking about.
Their decisions have nothing to do. Their decisions have nothing to do with that. We are so wise.
Not as if they are holding forth in that place for you.
We are so principled. You know, the principles of which the party was concerned, that we love democracy. We don't undermine.
But do you think the PDP, the way it is, can stand this present president?
In fact, even win.
You can win
not
this
just
president.
Stand. You are a solution provider. You provided yourself as the candidate that
an economy that was destroyed in 16 years.
But you took over.
Can it be repaired in 2 years?
No, not 2 years. You've been in APC has been in government in 10 years.
I'm talking of this president.
No. He was part of it. He was the one who brought Buhari.
He was not part of the government.
No. He was one who brought Buhari. There's no way Buhari would have won. We defeated Buhari in 2 elections. It was when he came in and gave the Southern support that Buhari won. So he has the responsibility of forming the government. He was part and parcel of that government.
But he was not in charge of the government.
And then 2 years. And that's why we gave him 2 years of rule. Have you ever heard me criticizing publicly? Until now. I've given him 2 years. I've met with some of these very, very close friends because they are very good associates of mine, right from ABU.
So what is the other thing you talked about that is critical?
Security.
Also PDP problem?
No, but you have 10 years. You can't solve it in 10 years. We solved it in 2 years when we took over from the military. Under Obasanjo, things were stable. So stable that the world gave us
terrorism was not during the military.
Come on. You know it. You are part of this society.
Terrorism was not part of the military. It came into existence. Boko Haram.
No. But we didn't create it. And we dealt with it. It snowballed because under the campaigns in 2015, some people made a terrible mistake in bringing bandits into Nigeria to force. But President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was wise enough that his political ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. That was a very wise thing. And now he's going to harvest from it by the grace of God. You'll see. Nigerians respect him for it. Because if we had followed it, this country would have gone to pieces. People here, we know it. Buhari and others. You name the Air-Rufai and others. They brought in people to come and conquer us. And do you know the number of people in Nigeria who have died since then? Especially in our areas.
Don't the presidency of Obasanjo,
yeah?
there is this crisis in Plateau State.